Hi, my name is Leila. I work here at Holy Trinity. I grew up in a farming community in Northern Ireland. I had three siblings, two older sisters and a younger brother. We went to church because everybody did in Northern Ireland, but my parents didn't really have a faith. When I was 6, our minister died, and we had a new young minister who explained the gospel really clearly to the children. He told us that Jesus had loved us so much that he died for us so that we could really get to know God. And even though I was young, that really resonated with me. And I thought if somebody loved me enough to die for me, then I wanted to know that person and be in relationship with them. So I became a Christian. Now, because I was little, everything's black and white, and I just didn't want to go to heaven without my parents. So I would tell them, often in tears, that they really needed to know God. And my dad, when he tells his story, he says that he really got angry. If I hadn't been so little, he would have told me to be quiet in slightly stronger language. But because I was his little girl, he was forced to listen to me. So fast forward, so I was 9 years old, and we were out in the potato field harvesting one September. So this is Northern Ireland, so it was very wet. So I had moved school, and my teacher was a Christian. And she had invited us all to come to her church, which I'd duly done. My siblings came too, and eventually my mum came along, and she had become a Christian, but my dad really didn't want to know. So in this potato field, we were out gathering the potatoes, and my little brother, who was 7, he fell over on the mud. And the tractor driver didn't see him and reversed over him. So my dad saw this happen, and he screamed for the tractor driver to stop, but he thought he was telling him to come back again, so he reversed over him again. My dad was absolutely devastated, and he fell to his knees and he cried out to God that if God would heal his son, then he would give his life to God. My brother was rushed to hospital, and they said they've x-rayed him, and they said there was nothing they could do. All his organs had collapsed, and really it was just waiting to see how long he would survive. So my mum and dad were waiting, and the church that I'd started going to, they were really praying, not only that my brother's life would be saved, but that my dad would become a Christian as well. So in the middle of the night, my brother had woken up and had wet the bed, which was unusual, and they'd taken him off to be x-rayed again. And miraculously, there was nothing wrong with him. All his organs were working fine, and there was only some external bruising. This was just an incredible event, and my dad, true to his word, did give his life to God. One thing that I hadn't said was that my dad worked far too hard and drank far too hard, and this had a fairly devastating impact on both my parents' marriage and on our family life. When he became a Christian, he changed dramatically. He stopped drinking, and he started coming along to the church that my mum and I were going to. But of course, you know, life can be messy, and although there's this amazing miracle of my brother being saved and fully healed, the emotional and spiritual healing for my mum took much, much longer. There was a lot of forgiveness that needed to happen, and that took a long time, and there were many, many ups and downs. But one thing that I can say, this is not yesterday, I can say that God has been faithful through it all. God is a God of hope, and I've seen that both for my family, but for myself personally. Now, I really love the Bible, and there's so many verses I could say right now, but I'd like to leave you with some verses from Lamentations, which say it's, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." Thank you.